Prysm IO coming soon. You guys, you deserve to know. I am Ricky Salvage, your president of sales, and I'm really excited to be here today because we have an incredible special guest that is going to give you all the details about Prysm IO in just a couple minutes, and that is Dr. Steve Moore. Can't wait to have him join us. But let's jump in. Okay, you guys, I think this is our fourth or fifth a Prysm IO opportunity where each time we're gaining more information about what is coming and how you can best be prepared. So let's talk about how this is going to go from the Prysm IO is going to go from guessing to knowing, from hoping to empowering you to take on your health and wellness. Let's pop to the next slide, please. You guys, like I said, guessing to knowing, hoping to empowered. That is what you are going to be able to deliver to the world. We, for too long, have been chasing the trends. We've been taking supplements without proof. Why have we been taking these supplements without proof? And if we have guessed our way into health. Like I have shared many times on this call, before I came to Nu Skin, I was taking over $200 worth of supplements every month. Why? Because we're told we need to. We know we're not eating the correct fruits and vegetables amount that we should be. So we all know that we should be taking supplements. And in fact, 75% of Americans say that they're taking a supplement today. But I was taking over $200 worth of supplements. I thought I was healthy, but I actually had absolutely no idea. And the first time I scanned on the S3, I scanned 12,000 in red, which later Dr. Steve Moore will tell you that is an F. I failed the test. Okay. So again, everyone out there is guessing and hoping that we're paying for all of this, all these products and putting them into our bodies and just giving it one of these that it's doing what it's supposed to. And we are going to change the world on how people think about supplements. So next slide. Do you know your supplements are working? Again, what I just shared, nobody knows that. Okay. Unless you're with Nu Skin. And as you guys know, we've had the scanner, but we've only had 5,000 units available for you guys. And we can't scale the world and help make healthy homes with only 5,000 units. So now, coming soon, late this year, the Prysm IO is changing that. It's small, looks like a hockey puck. You guys have all seen it. And it's going to be in homes and it's going to be accessible for you to take out there and have some conversations. Next slide. Okay, you guys, I never thought in a million years that I would be sitting here on a training call today talking about how I am so excited about Prysm IO and the technology that's coming out. Never in a million years did I think that that was going to be me. But something happened in my own household that made me realize we have something greater than what we can even imagine. Okay. And here's what happened. Yes, I understand now why supplements are so important. And I understand as an adult and being at this company why the scanner is so important. But your kids don't know that. And so when I got to come home with the first time with the Prysm IO, one of the test units, immediately my kids wanted to put their fingers on it. And you guys know I have two girls, a 10-year-old and 11-year-old, and both of them scanned in the reddish orange, color, right? So again, FD, Dr. Steve Moore will explain that later. But the girls were like, oh my goodness, they know that that is not good when you are scaling or when you're ranking that low. And they immediately said, Mama, how do we get our score higher? Their first reaction. I didn't prompt them. I didn't say anything. So it was a very natural conversation to say, well, we can start this supplement. My daughter is now taking another supplement that we carry. I probably shouldn't say that because never mind. But yeah, so my girls are taking G3. We can say that, right? And Jungimals to higher their score. Because they know that it's going to increase their score. They wanted to take them. It wasn't me shoving it down their throat. It's not me saying that you have to do this anymore. And they are also eating more fruits and veggies. They are also asking for another helping of broccoli. Whose kids do that? Mine didn't. So, this is how I know we are going to be in 10 million homes across the globe. That is our vision, because if my kids are asking how they can increase their score, you guys, anyone can do this. So, like I said, our vision here at Nu Skin is by 2030 to be in 10 million homes across the globe. What does that mean for us here in America? Well, that means we got to do 2 million. We got to have 2 million Prysms, 2 million healthy homes out there on at least $100 subscription to their supplements. And when we do that, guys, we're going to become a multi-billion-dollar company, tenfold than what we are today. So, how does the Prysm come about, you guys? Like, we have been scanning for 20 plus years. We have 20 million scans out there and an incredible breakthrough. Now, like I said, Americans, we are not the healthiest people. 90% of Americans, if we jump to the next slide, are not getting enough fruits and veggies per day. If you look at the slide, this is the amount of fruits and veggies that you would have to eat per day. While that looks nice, it's not reality, right? Only 9% of Americans are eating this, and that is why we take supplements, because we're not getting all of these fruits and veggies in our body on a day-to-day basis. So we're supplementing. Next slide, please. And as you guys know, here is all the incredible supplements that are SCS certified. But how do you know they're working? You don't, unless you have the Prysm IO. So let's talk timing. Next slide, please. Okay, let's talk timing. So right now we have our Platinum Elites that have a beta test. And next week, I'm so excited that our Team Elites who are with us in Greece are going to get their hands on the next beta test. We're calling it version 2. They're going to get it next week. So if you're on someone who has a Team Elite, go out there and get scanned with them. And then in November, we have our limited edition qualifiers that will be receiving theirs or have an opportunity to buy theirs. And then most importantly, how you get your hands on one if you're not part of the top 300 in November is by being a brand rep or higher by December 1st. So as I'm saying, guys, our goal is to be in 2 million homes across North America. That means you got to get to brand reps and get your hands on one in December. If you already are a brand rep, how many more brand reps can you add to your team so you can have more Prysm IOs in your organization? So that'll be December, and January will be a brand rep preview, your opportunity to buy one unit. And then February through May, for any affiliate who is not a brand rep but gets to LOI, will have an opportunity to buy your very own. So it's going to be in our affiliates' hands, in our brand reps' hands, in our leaders' hands first. Get out there, scan as many people as we can. Most importantly, you're going to want to get them on a subscription after you scan, right? And then we'll be launching to the consumer in June. Okay, so this is our timeline. So again, that November qualification, it's going to be top 300 point achievers get the limited edition version, which you can see on the next slide, please. It's going to be this beautiful purple Prysm with a stand and a case that will have an opportunity to get these in November. Next slide is how you earn the points, which I think you guys know because this is the last month to earn those points. So again, keep sponsoring. You get 1 point for everyone you sponsored and got to star affiliate. You get 4 points for each new brand rep. You get 10 points for a Ruby, and you are also getting 2 points for being a current scanner operator. So you're going to get those in November. And then our top 20 qualifiers, you guys, I'm so excited to announce that our top 20 point achievers will actually be getting their Prysm IO limited edition for free at live. Next slide, please. That's right. Okay. So, top 20 achievers will be getting theirs at live for free, presented on stage. Get a great little professional shoot. You're going to have a digital catalog and some really cool swag. Okay. So, that's it for me. Now, the main attraction, you guys. Like I said, we have a really special guest here, someone who has been building his entire career specifically with the scanner. And I could not be more excited for him to be here today and first to, well, share his story. Let's hear who he is and how he's been building with the scanner and why is he so excited about the Prysm IO. So team, help me welcome our 10-year Team Elite, Dr. Steve Moore. Hi, Steve.
Hey, Ricky. Hello, everybody. Good to be here.
Awesome. All right. Well, help us get to know you.
Sure. Well, I live in Jupiter, Florida. I've been married now for since 2008, so 17 years. We have three children. But when I started Nu Skin, I was 27, and I had just graduated from chiropractic school, wanting to be a doctor. I was originally going to be an orthopedic surgeon, but I got really fed up with medicine because I saw that we needed to focus more on helping people stay healthy instead of being in a reactive system. So moved out to California from Pennsylvania and went to chiropractic school. And when I had graduated, I was living in the Silicon Valley. That's where I went to school. And I saw all this great innovation during the whole dot-com boom. And one day I was trying to figure out how I was going to earn some income while I was in school, studying for my boards with not a lot of time. It was expensive to live in the Bay Area, and I needed something that could help me. And so I knew I couldn't get a job. So I was looking at some different businesses that I might be able to start from home. I had an interest in supplements, and I thought that I could help people choose better supplements and maybe build a little side business with it. The problem I had is the more I was trying to learn about the supplement industry, the more I was trying to compare different products and look at catalogs. Like many people, the more confused I was. And I didn't have confidence recommending one brand over another if I didn't have a way of measuring it. So I was in my kitchen one night where I had a little desk set up, and I got connected through someone through social media. Before it was called social media, it was actually AOL Instant Messenger. And I got this message with someone showing me a video of the first biophotonic scanner. And I didn't believe it at first, but as I did some due diligence, I saw that there was some great science behind it. Next thing I know, I'm going to a meeting, I'm getting scanned, and I didn't do so well. I was 31,000, which is to me is a C minus, and I thought I was doing everything right. I was eating healthy, I was working out, but I wasn't focused enough on these important antioxidants that we all need in our cells. And it made me think differently. And I learned about Pharmanex, and I learned about Nu Skin, and I started to learn about the business. And the more I learned about it, the more excited I became because I saw that this could be something I could do from home as a little side business to help me, pay for some things that I need to pay for without distracting me from my studies. But I ended up going to a meeting with Nathan Ricks, who is just an amazing person. I learned so much from him. But my first business presentation that I went to live was Nathan. And I got inspired at 27 years old and having no business experience, never really having a job or a full-time job other than some little things in college. I was intrigued by this, and I said, maybe this is the one thing that I can do that can be really groundbreaking. And as I got involved more in the business and I flew out to the company headquarters and I met the people and I saw the facilities and I saw the scientific integrity and I learned about this leveraged compensation plan, it really made me rethink what I wanted to do. And I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to help people with their health, but I also one day wanted to have a family. And I looked at the kind of a lot of the doctors I knew, and I looked at a lot of the really successful Nu Skin distributors. And I said, well, if I'm going to work hard at something, I want to create a life that is going to give me flexibility and give me fulfillment. And that weekend, I decided to go do Nu Skin full time instead of going into practice. And I did get my license in New York, but I've been on this full time Nu Skin journey because I am so excited about the mission that we have here, which is to help people stay healthy. And we do that through nutrition and lifestyle interventions.
Oh my gosh, you guys, everybody in the chat's like, Steve, I love your story. Thank you for sharing. This is fantastic. And it's so true. So, you guys, Steve had the vision before the portability and the access and the Prysm IO. Steve had it. And that's why we wanted him here today to share about what's coming next. So, Steve, you've been building with this your entire career here at Nu Skin. Can you tell the individuals who might not know the scientific backing of the scanner and why is it so incredible? And why would you decide to do this as instead of being a doctor, but some of that credibility that people might not know about?
Well, first, I want to correct you. The first scanner that we had, the S1, was super portable, right? To us, right? We didn't have, you guys have a different reference point now, but I was looking at the original scanners and the pictures of them, and the scanner took up an entire room where it was being used at the Huntsman Cancer Institute, right? I mean, it was a huge weapon of mass destruction, was what it looked like. And so we had a portable one. We could fit it in basically a trombone case that I would carry around, kind of like the Pursuit of Happiness, but it was bigger. And we could bring it to the people. We never imagined that it would get to, an S3, which I think is fantastic, to now, going to this Prysm device. But when I looked at this, I said, okay, the first thing it needs to be science based. And, I see a lot of gadgets out there that companies claim that they do things, and I'm a pretty skeptical person. It's our training, right? We want to find holes in things as healthcare providers. And I said, great, another gadget that a company is making to sell their stuff. But when I started to look into the history of the scanner, I learned that it was actually originally funded by the National Institute of Health to look at the protective antioxidants in the eye that help play a role in eye disease risk prevention. And I know we're not making disease claims with the scanner, but that was the original funding from the NIH before Pharmanex and Nu Skin got involved. I remember someone shared with me an article from Yale University that they received a 10-year grant to use the scanner to study the nutritional impact on I won't use I'll try to make this legally compliant here, but they were using it to study some significant, probably one of the biggest health scares that people have. And I remember seeing it on the Yale website because I didn't believe they were actually doing that. And I went on to yale.com and I saw that and I'm like, wow, there's really something to it. And the more I tried to understand the scanner, the more I tried to poke holes at it, the better it looked. And so there is a tremendous amount of scientific research. Actually, there are over 110 studies peer reviewed published on the device. So huge scientific backing behind this.
Absolutely. And we wouldn't expect anything less here from Nu Skin, right? So, as a doctor, you're here, you're scanning individuals, and several people might think, well, great, Steve can do that because he's a doctor. I don't know how I'm going to be able to talk about Prysm and how to scan people. So, Steve, you did an incredible training for me and talking about how you break down supplements in terms of everyday purchasing. And I would love if you could just kind of share that concept with everyone here.
Well, so I don't scan people as a doctor. Yes, I went to school and I got a degree in that, but I actually never went into practice. And so I scan people as a friend, as a colleague, as a brother, right? As a son, as someone in my community. I went out and scanned people the same way that everybody else scans people, right? I just have a different education, but I never scanned in a practice because I never had my own patients other than my internship that I did. And so, we go out there and we find people to talk to about nutrition and we measure them and then we make recommendations on how they can improve their score. It's actually pretty simple. It could be simple, it could be complex. It just depends on how much you want to talk to people. And so when I first got scanned at 31,000, I said, well, what do I need to do to improve my score? And they said, well, we have this product called Life Pack right here that in 2 months, it's guaranteed to improve your score, your money back. And when I looked at the scientific team of Joe Chang and everybody, I said, okay, I'll take that product. No one else has given me a guarantee before. I could barely afford it, but I took it, right? Because our health is our priority, right? I look at things in life, and some people think that, and let's just get down to this. Sometimes people think that investing in their health is expensive, right? That if their insurance doesn't cover it, it's expensive. Well, your insurance pays for sick care, right? But we want to be healthy. Your car insurance pays for an accident, but yet you still pay to get an oil change because you know if you don't, it's going to be more expensive. And if we take care of our body as good as we take care of our car and we value that and we invest in it, we're going to have a much better life when we invest in it. And so, I look at things, if you look at priorities here, you look at God first, family second, health is number three, right? Most people would give up their health to protect their family. And when people lose their health, they will give up their friendships, their money, their things to try to get their health back. And so why not just start from the beginning with prioritizing our health and investing in it every single day? If we value something, we invest in it. And our mission here is to help other people value their health so they invest in it, or so they invest in it. And then the key is they want to know, if I'm investing in it, is it going to work? Every other company out there is marketing a story. Pharmanex is marketing measurable science so we can prove to people that, number one, there's a need for supplementation in their body. And number two, that you can provide products that will work. And number three, you can then show it to them in their body. No other company can do that as easily as we can. And that makes a huge impact. And I think a lot of this, yes, there's techniques and word tracking and so forth. But number one, we have to be able to sell ourselves and believe in it ourselves first. We have to live it. And so if you want to be a good scan operator, you need to be a good product user. You need to go out there and seek the knowledge to learn about these products. Now, there are, I don't know how many Pharmanex products there are. There are over 40 of them. I don't know how many bones in the body there are, but I can name every one. And my kids are like, why don't you know how number? Like, I don't know the trivia, but I can name every single one. So if you look at the Pharmanex products, there are a lot of products. Focus on one, become an expert at using one. And then if you want to learn about more, you take Age Lock Youth. And I recommend, like, this is my go-to, my number one thing that I recommend. Life Pack, which is your foundational nutrition. It has 7 formulas built into one to make it easy to save you time and money. You just take 2 packs a day, and it's got everything you need in there, and it's certified to work. Then what you do is you work on your foundational genetics or your epigenetics using Age Lock Youth, the most advanced product. These two things together are extremely powerful. Then you can start to add other things into it. So what I take is I take Life Pack, I take Age Lock Youth every day. I take Age Lock Meta because we just don't move around as much as we should, and we all need that gut health and that metabolic support. I take New Biome, right, for your pre and postbiotic. I take the collagen. I'm probably not as consistent with the collagen, right, as maybe some other people are, but I took it today and I took it last night. I take R squared day because as we get older, we lose our body's ability to produce energy, right? And this uses Age Lock science to help target the sources of how the body or how the cells produce energy. You'll feel great on this product. So these are like my 4 things that I do every day. And at night, I mean, we're entrepreneurs, right? How many of you lay down in bed and you're just thinking of all the things that you need to do, finish up with, or do the next day, right? So I take nighttime before I go to bed, and I actually take a double dose of this. Charlie Patterson, a good friend of mine's like, you should try it. You should try double dose. I think he might take a triple dose of it, but I take a double dose. It's great. And then I have the relaxing body cream on my nightstand, and I put that on my skin before I go to bed because the aroma of this also helps you, go to sleep. And then one thing I'm doing right now, and I'm just naming a few products. Again, keep it simple, but I'm just telling you what I do. I am now taking R Squared Night and T Green 97 because these two, everyone's talking about detox, right? Well, these two are basically cellular purification. They support those mechanisms in the body. So if you want to do a cellular detox, like these will support the cell's ability to help target those things. And then this is for my friend Kathy Schultz, who we had a kind of a fun conversation over in Mexico. I do use my Lumi Spa. I used it today. I videotaped myself using it, and I do have my serums as well. Right now, I may not use as much of the skincare. It may not be as consistent as other people, because my focus is nutrition, right? But those of you that are using skincare, maybe your focus is skincare, but you can still use the nutrition stuff. And I can tell you that as you use the nutrition stuff, you will become more passionate about it. And when you use these products, it's very easy to sell things or talk to people about things you use. When it's in your hand, you're putting it in your body, you're taking ownership of it, you're reading the materials or the product information pages or watching the videos. You can start slow with 2 products and you can always learn more. One of the things that I teach my team to do is try a new product every single month. I've learned about all these products because I try a new product every month. I mean, I've tried them all now, but I tried new products every month, and I learn about them. So back to what you said, scanning. You scan somebody, here's your score. I like to give people a grade, right? You want to be in the blue zone or the purple zone. You want to have a lot of protection because these carotenoid antioxidants are the shield to every cell in your body. Every cell has a cell membrane. That cell membrane is made of what's called a phospholipid bilayer, which is fat, right? And there are all kinds of things that are working in that membrane. You have hormone receptors, you have cell communication, you have channels that bring things in and out of the cell. And when that membrane, which is fat, gets oxidized, think of a piece of fish you leave out of your refrigerator and it starts stinking. Well, if you don't have antioxidants protect that bilayer, that cell membrane, it starts to stink or it starts to oxidize. It starts to rot and it causes dysfunction, and that leads to health issues. So your body's smart. It puts all these antioxidants, specifically the carotenoids, which are the fat soluble ones, to protect the cell to provide that shield. All the scanner does is it measures the amount or the concentration or the how good that shield is. That's what it's doing. It's measuring those molecules. So the higher your score, the bigger the shield, the more you can fend off the damaging effects of free radicals, which we're all exposed to every single day. And so once you know your score, you then make supplements to improve it. I recommend it cost per day. This is less than $3 a day. Think about that. Oh, it's expensive, $85. Well, go to a gas station and go to the refrigerator and look how much Red Bull, Monster, and all that other junk that's there, and look at the people buying it. I was just at the gas station yesterday getting my wife's car washed, and a pack of cigarettes is $11.50. French fries at McDonald's, which I don't go to, I had to go to their website to find out, they're $3.49 for a small. Look at Starbucks and all these things. And so people don't have money issues, they have priority issues. And our goal and our mission is to help people prioritize their health before they lose it, right? And so the scanner or the Prysm device is a way to get people's attention because you can now measure that protection with the Prysm in 15 seconds. And that starts the conversation. Objective measurement, when you can measure something, you can manage it. When you can measure something, you can improve it. And knowing that we have products that are the only ones that carry an SCS certification, meaning they're the only products that have a certification that are guaranteed to get measurable results to improve antioxidant levels. No other company can make that guarantee. And so as we talk to people, we can say, yes, you want to invest in this. There's a lot of intangible things that you don't feel or experience in the body that are going on. You might feel it in a month, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. You don't feel the difference in your car when you change your oil, but we know that if we don't eventually change it, it's going to be catastrophic. And your body uses these antioxidants to protect it from this accumulative damage that leads to health issues down the road. And we need to help people improve that protection. And the Prysm IO is the most effective tool that I've ever seen that we're going to go change the world and help people prioritize their health.
Absolutely. Help people prioritize their health, right? They don't have a money issue. It's how they're spending their money. And I love how you break it down. Life Pack, is $3 a day. Who is willing to spend $3 a day on our health? I know that I am. And once you get our customers on just one product and you see the increase, then they're like, well, what else do you have? What else can I add in? How can I get my score even higher? And we actually did a fun study that we looked at the volume that all of our scanner operators do today to compare to others who don't have a scanner. And what we found was the volume from our scanner operators was significantly higher in their GSV, and they actually sold more skincare than the rest of the population without. And that really surprised me. And when I was talking to Dr. Steve about it, it's because once somebody tries a product, sees the results, feels the results, they're going to trust you in all products, not just supplements. So, as Steve was up there holding his Lumi, he's using all the products too. But all of his customers are not only on the supplements, but they're going to be on several of our other products in our portfolio because they trust Nu Skin and what the products can do there. So I thought that that was a fun fact. Okay, so I saw a question in the chat. Steve, how do you get somebody to scan? So what is that question that you ask them? Is it awkward? Is it weird? Because you confirmed that you're not out there scanning in a practice. So how do you get somebody to scan? And then what does that conversation look like from there?
Well, so yesterday I was picking up my boys at my wife's friend's house, and I brought my Prysm device there. I wouldn't have brought my S3 scanner, even though this is ultra portable. I wouldn't have brought it there, but the fact that I could just it's interesting when we had this S3, I'm like, we don't need it smaller or more convenient. It's perfect the way it is. But I'm kind of looking at how I'm using the Prysm. I wouldn't have just casually brought it over to a friend's house. So anyways, I brought it over to her house and I just said, hey, check this out, because she's been scanned before and I rescanned her and she's like, this is really cool. But I originally had scanned her because I did my wife is friends with her and they know we're into health and so forth because that's what we live. And I think it came up and my wife just said, hey, my friend wants to get scanned. And so I said, okay, well, so one day she was over and I just scanned her in the kitchen and I followed a scan process. And so, we have a questionnaire that we give people, and that helps take the sales out of it because I don't want to sell. I don't want my wife's friends to feel like I'm just trying to like sell something to them. I'm actually pretty apprehensive when it comes to people close to me about sales. But when I find that I can give someone a questionnaire and they can fill it out, and then she's saying, yes, we take a lot of supplements. We value our health. We would spend 10 or more dollars a day on our health. Now I know that this is someone that's really engaging. And what it allows me to do is meet them where they are. Right. And I had no idea that they were into health that much, but she answered these questions. And I wasn't selling. I was just learning a little bit more about her. And then I was finding out, okay, how can I help you accomplish what you're trying to do? How can I help you do it better? Right. And so we scanned her, we put her on product. Well, the other day I was on an airplane flying to Utah and there was a lady sitting next to me. And I just said, hello, where are you headed to? You going for business? Yeah, I'm going to a conference. Oh, what do you do? She owned a spa, right? I mean, if you just talk to people, you do the same things you do anyway. You just talk to people. And don't talk to people where you're trying to sell them. Just have a genuine interest in getting to know people. And sometimes it will lead into I have this device that can measure nutrition in the body, and sometimes it doesn't. You don't have to force it on everybody and feel like you're always trying to sell to everybody around you. And so I just have authentic conversations with people, and people typically will ask, what do I do? Because I ask them what they do. Right. I mean, what do you do? And they're like, what do you do? And I say, oh, well, we actually have a technology that can measure nutrition in the body for the first time and help people get on supplements that actually work. And she's like, where can I find that? I'm like, well, I have it on the plane with me right now. It's once we get up the altitude, and I scanned her on the plane and she bought $500 in product and she invited me to her spa to do an event there. So, it just happens all the time. I don't know if there's a specific way to train people other than if you just believe in what you're doing, you live the life of it, you incorporate it into your daily routines, you get results with it, and then just talk to people, and people will naturally ask you what you do. Now, even though the Prysm devices are not coming out till brand reps in December, right? You guys have an opportunity right now to build your story. And what I would recommend that everyone does here, if you're not, if you're focused on skincare, social media, you haven't done much with nutrition, but you have an interest in Prysm, order the supplements like now and start working on your score. Because I can tell you, every time I scan people, it's pretty often they'll say, well, let's see what you score. And I'm like, all right, bring it. I know I'm going to score in the purple, right? And everyone around me knows I'm going to score in the purple. But if someone says, where do you score? And you're in the yellow and they're in the yellow, you've lost some credibility with them, right? And so you've got to inspire them to want to be a little bit more like you or have a score more like you, which means you've got to get your score high. So what I would recommend doing at a minimum is get on the Life Pack and the Age Lock Youth and learning about them. Now, we've also put together a business bundle kit that I personally use for my team. I know some other people are doing it. If you guys have your own bundle, use that. But what we use is we put together these two products and the collagen, right? Because these are all the like top selling scanner certified products. And then what we did is we say, what are some other things that are going to help people improve their health? And that's work on the gut. So we put Age Lock Meta and New Biome, which are also top sellers, in that kit. And so there's 5 products in there. And if you really want to work on improving your score and being serious about it, I'd just go and buy that kit and learn about those 5 products and take it from there. Let the rest kind of take care of itself.
Has anyone ever scored higher than you when you first meet them and scan them? Has that ever happened?
It has, yeah. I mean, when I was down in Colombia doing business, I mean, I had 4 people at a meeting that were like over 90,000. It was insane. But if you're in Colombia, like they have the abundance of fruits and vegetables. Like I'd go to the grocery store and like, what is all this stuff? And I would try all these weird fruits because they don't have an industrialized food supply like we have here. We buy vegetables that are grown in other countries that have been sitting in refrigerators for months. Where's the nutritional value? And a lot of these vegetables are grown not for quality or nutrient density. They're grown. We buy vegetables by what? By weight. So when they actually grow vegetables, they want to grow them fast, and they don't really care about the nutrient content industrials. And that's why, like, if you were to eat an orange today, you would actually have to eat about 25 oranges to get the same vitamin C of an orange about in the 1950s. 25 of them. And if you look at you go down all the fruits and vegetables, are nutrients, it looks nice, right? And then sometimes they put it in lights to make it look better. And those misters in the grocery stores, that's just marketing. It doesn't actually do anything. That's just to make it appear that it's fresh, right? There's a whole facade if you walk in the Whole Foods. It's actually very interesting how they market things to make you feel that you're actually getting it from a farmer. Meanwhile, that stuff has been sitting in a refrigerator for a very, very long time before you get to it. And so we're not getting our nutrients from our diet. All the science shows that. Is it possible? Yes. Do some people? Yes. But the great majority of us do not. And the great majority of us are not going to radically change their diet and grow organically farm fruits and vegetables in their backyard and eat them every single day. Right. And so if we're not getting optimal levels of nutrients from our diet, we need to get them from another source. And then it just becomes, what supplement do you take and how do you know if it's working? And that's what I love about PharmNX and the scanner and now Prysm, is that we can answer that question and we can do it faster and more reliably than anybody else in the world.
Okay, so the chat is blowing up about this questionnaire. Can you tell us just off the top of your head, what are a couple of questions that might be on that? As I'm seeing that here in the chat.
Sure. So do you take supplements? Why or why not? What are some of the things that you want to support? So if you look at do you want to support immune health? Do you want to support cardiovascular health? Do you want to support bone health? Because I want to understand what their priorities are, because then I can talk to them about how the products help them support their issues. Now, make sure you are not talking about disease and giving medical advice. Really make sure a high score on the scanner does not lower your risk of disease. We cannot say that, right? But there are studies that show high levels of carotenoids will. So we've got to be really careful on what language you use. And my advice is it's safe to just stay away from any disease at all whatsoever and be legally compliant, because we want to make sure that we are doing things in the right way when we go to market, and we are not putting each other's businesses at risk. Okay, because that is a big risk right there. So make sure that as you're going out there, that you're not getting carried away, that you're following the company's guidelines of what you should say and what you shouldn't say. So one of the other questions on there then is how motivated you to address your health concerns, right? Then one of the other questions on there is how much are you willing to, or would you like me to recommend supplements to help support your health concerns? And yes or no. So now they're giving you permission to basically make a recommendation. Another one is how much are you willing to invest per day to address your health concerns or to support your health concerns? And that's where I can go by and say, hey, you circled $3 a day. This fits in your budget. Hey, you circled $7 a day. This fits in your budget. Hey, you circled $10 a day. This fits in your budget. So now all I'm doing is it's I think of it like most of us have probably bought a house. I think of this as like the sales process is like real estate. If you go and you're trying to buy a house and your budget is, let's just say it's $1 million for a house, and your real estate agent takes you to Palm Beach Island, which I don't live on Palm Beach Island. The homes there are 15, 20, $50 million, right? And they started showing me homes there, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, it's not in my budget. But if they went and showed me a little like shack or something, like that's not what I want either. So what does a realtor do? What's your budget? So that I can show what's your budget? What are you looking for? Right? Do you have kids? Does school district matter? What are you looking for? And then they can go out there and they can go find you something that is within your budget that has what you're looking for. 1 story, 2 stories, how many bedrooms, whatever it is, right? And I look at nutrition as the same way. If everybody could take all this stuff and they didn't care about swallowing pills and money wasn't an issue, great. Tell them about everything. But most people are restricted based on what they want, how many pills they want to swallow, and how much they want to spend. And so it's important to know that information up front. Just like a realtor, it's important for them to know what you're looking for. And all you're doing then is you're meeting them where they are with their budget, with the things that they want to improve about their health or their beauty. You're showing them how to support it, and then you're giving them suggestions. And if you're using those products and you can share a personal story or someone else's story, then that's actually a really great way to getting them involved. Just tell people like, hey, I take this and this is what it did to me. My score was 31,000. It's now, around 70,000. It's been as high as 90. My wife has been on the products and these are some of the things it did for her. My kids are on the products and these are some of the things it did for them. And then you start to share some stories because the Prysm allows you to captivate their interest and it starts the conversation. And then it's just a matter of do they trust you? Do they believe you? Do you know what you're talking about? And that's where you've got to, number one, embrace it for yourself. And then you've got to go out there and seek the knowledge so that you can share that knowledge with other people. And then all you're then doing is helping them make a decision. That's all sales is. Sales is helping someone get what they want. But you need to understand what they want and what their budget is. It doesn't mean that you might, like I've had people that said my budget's $3. And then I show them this. They're like, well, what is that? I'm like, well, this targets 1,000 genes that target the sources of aging. Well, how much is that? I'm like, well, it's like $4 more. Okay, I'll take that too. And then she was like, what is this? What's in that box of that collagen you have there? Oh, this is the first collagen product that actually has a clinical study published showing efficacy. How much is that? Oh, that's about $3 more a day. Okay, give me that too. So she gave me a budget of $3, but she saw the value in investing $10 a day. So it doesn't mean that you can't move them up, but it gives you a starting point so that you're not blowing them out of the water and showing them a $10 million home when their budget is $1 million. Showing them a $10 protocol when their budget is $3. Get them to commit to what they feel they can afford, and then you can always upgrade them from there.
That is fantastic. And I've heard you say this a couple times now is, guys, you've got to get your own stories. You've got to be on the products first so you can share authentically what these products can do. Now, you guys, give a huge shout out. I want to see it in the chat. And a thank you for Dr. Steve Moore for coming on and sharing. And guess what? We'll have him back to talk about the next important thing once we all get scanners, which will be the power of scanning, getting somebody on subscription, but more importantly, getting somebody scanned twice, right? When the scanners are here, that is the key to the business, is getting somebody scanned twice. So Steve, we're going to invite you back in a couple months and we'll talk about that once everyone has prisms in their hands. But thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate you.
Thanks. Great to be here with everybody. Thanks for the invitation, Ricky. Happy to be back.
Awesome. Okay, you
All right.
guys, let's wrap up this call. Let's pull up the last slide and we'll do our call to action. For our call today. So, okay, so most importantly, guys, start taking products. I love that Steve said, just start taking one of the SCS products today. Take it for 30 days, see how you feel. Become completely educated on it. There's so much training out there. Go read the pips and become educated on one of the products first. Then the next step, go out and get scanned if you can. Come join us in live and get scanned. Then we are going to be in 6 of our largest markets across the US and Canada on these dates. We're going to have evening events since they're all on weekdays. So probably imagine starting like 6 or 7 to about 9 o'clock at night in each of these cities. You can expect that there will be an expo, meaning tons of scanners for people to get scanned. So affiliates to get scanned, or prospects, bring your customers, bring people that you want to come join the business. Sorry, can we get those back up on the screen here, those dates? There we go. Okay, so you can expect to get scanned. You can expect to have samples. We'll have lots of products for you to try. We will probably have some incentives if customers buy right there, maybe some incentives if someone wants to join you in the business. And we're going to talk about Prysm. We're going to talk about the science. We're going to talk about the opportunity. So come and join us if you can. And we're going to get out an email that will allow you to sign up to come to these events. So you can see it here on the calendar. The 29th is Toronto. The 30th is New York. The 4th is Atlanta. The 5th is Dallas. The 12th is Chicago. And the 13th is LA. I want to see you guys there. Okay, last slide here. Like we've already shared, go out and get scanned if you can. You got to become the expert. Steve said that at least 5 times today. You guys, I cannot emphasize that enough. Continue to run for that limited edition. This is the last month. And then let's see how many new brand reps we can create in the month of November. So they would be titled by December 1st. So you can have as many prisms in your organization as possible. You guys, big vision. If you want to check out our August training, the QR code is down there on the slide. That's where we heard from Team Elite Kim Russell and Team Elite Amanda Carr, and they shared their stories. You guys, this has been amazing. Again, our vision is to be in 10 million healthy homes around the globe. That means 2 million for us right here in our own backyard. And I know that we can do it with all of you and this incredible tool that we have at our fingertips. So I hope you guys enjoyed the call and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.